I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of January 13th, 2016. We just heard, unfortunately, we're recording this on Thursday, by the way, not on Wednesday as we usually do, but Alan Rickman has passed away, the great thespian of British descent. And in honor of Alan Rickman's passing, we will give our top 5 Alan Rickman films at the end of this week's episode, so stay with us for that. But on a happier note, on a lighter note, comics were awesome this week. All kinds of great stuff. In fact, what I'm going to talk about could easily be switched with what Josh is going to be talking about, because I enjoyed all of the books that he's talking about, and perhaps he enjoyed the books that I'm going to talk about. So lots of great stuff. Kicking things off with my pick of the week, Huck, number 3, by Mark Millar and Raphael Albuquerque. And I've just enjoyed every issue of this book. I really enjoyed number 1. In fact, it was my pick of the week it came out. And this just keeps pushing the story along. I mean, the nice thing about this book versus a lot of other books is there is forward momentum, there's progress. It's not just, we're not just treading water. And this is the story of a kind of a simple Superman, a man who many would call simple, who enjoys doing good deeds for people and doesn't want recognition, wants to live in anonymity. And the people in his small town protect him because of that. Somehow the word gets out that this guy has powers, and the media swarms in, and now the government is recruiting him to do work for them. And you get kind of a greasy politician. The governor of the state that he's in is using him as his poster child, and it's kind of heartbreaking and fun at the same time, because you can see that this guy is really being used by a lot of folks, but he's smart enough to know that he is, in a way, and what he thinks is right is really what's guiding him. His moral compass is not changing because of outside influences. And there is a reveal at the end of this week's issue, and it's kind of a giveaway on the cover. If you have
and it was teased at the end of the last issue,
yeah,
wasn't
it was. But we find out that Huck has a brother. Tom, I believe, is his name. Tom and Huck.
Yep.
That's where we go. So if you get the movie variant, the movie tribute variant, it's the Huck brothers. It's a tribute to the Blues Brothers. This book, again, is just a lot of fun to read. Great artwork by Albuquerque. It's the complete package. It's one of the things that makes comics great.
This week, pick up Huck's complete package. New this week from Dynamite, we've got Red Sonja number 1, written by Marguerite Bennett, with art by Aneki, possibly. No last name, just one name.
That could be a sentient computer. I'm not sure. I
it's
tried to find the Twitter account for Aneki, and there wasn't one, because I wanted to let them know that we appreciated the book.
Yeah. So this is a new story. It doesn't pick up any significant plot threads so far from the great Gail Simone arc that we just had going on the last couple years. And it's good. It picks up Sonja at a point in her life where she's already the She-Devil. It doesn't do any background or origin stuff. I get the impression she's a little bit older, but she's not, like old man King Conan era Red Sonja. And basically she's starts off with her and the king of Hyrcania, the crazy country they're from.
Yeah.
And he's dying, and he asks her to take over as queen of the land. And she responds, and then we see the outcome of that. We jump a year later in the story, and it was good. It had a lot more. It was a lot more inside Sonja's head than we get a lot of the time. I mean, you see kind of more of her motivation and why she does the things she does, and yeah, we get to see what do you do with the general when the war's over. It was really good.
Cool.
What's the lyric? White Christmas. There's a song at the end. What do you do with a general? Never mind.
Yeah. You gotta hand it to Dynamite with some of the talent that they're attracting to these books, and even though I don't know who Anik is, the artwork is great. I mean, it was kind of the same thing with the Gail Simone run, and I'm drawing a complete blank on the artist on her run.
Frizen?
No. She did the covers.
Oh, okay.
But that combo of Gail Simone and this artist on the relaunch of Red Sonja, they stay together throughout all the run. Hopefully this team stays together too. And I think it's cool to get inside of Sonja's head, because you usually don't get that. It's usually just swing the sword, eat the food, bed the men, never take a shower sort of thing. So Red Sonja is definitely worth a look. And as if we didn't drive that home enough when we were talking about Gail Simone on Red Sonja, now we've got Marguerite Bennett there, and it's a good opportunity to check it out. Next up for me is Red Wolf #2 by Nathan Edmondson, and oh man, artwork by Dalibor Talajic. That's what it is. Yep. Red Wolf was a very enjoyable first issue for me. Again, this character is coming out of the Marvel 1872 storyline that happened during Secret Wars, and #1's been out for more than a month, so I can spoil it for you. At the end of issue #1, Red Wolf ends up in present-day Marvel land, or at least what we assume is present-day Marvel land. We haven't seen any other Marvel characters, which is kind of cool. And so he's definitely a fish out of water. You've got this Native American sheriff from the late 1800s who wakes up in 2015, and that's where we go. That's a story right there. We've also got some kind of creepy organized crime organization that is maiming people with rattlesnake bites. I just enjoyed it. This is perfect for people who like the TV show Sleepy Hollow. Where you've got the Ichabod Crane character who's a man out of time, and he's working with local law enforcement against a greater evil. I think that Red Wolf kind of has similar tones, so if you're a fan of Sleepy Hollow, you should definitely check out Red Wolf. And I'm going to keep reading it. I have been pleased.
Yeah, I was concerned after the end of the last issue, because what I loved about 1872 was all the period Marvel stuff and the references. Bringing it to the present was kind of risky, in my opinion, but I really like this issue as well, so they're doing a great job. Go Nathan Edmondson and friends. Next up, we've got Batman Superman 28, written by your friend of mine, Tom Taylor, with art by Robson Roca, or Roja, possibly. And this is awesome, if for no other reason than this is a classic Batman Superman story, not the current Gordon Batman and depowered Superman. So this is Bruce's Batman. And some point in the past, they're wearing their new 52 costumes, so it's still in the new continuity, and it's just great. There's a reason Superman and Batman are the most enduring characters at DC. They represent a dichotomy, a yin and a yang, that is just amazing together, and Taylor does a great job of personifying them. It's not overly wordy, but the dialogue is really good, and yeah, it's just a classic buddy adventure with Superman, Batman. There's a alien crash lands on the moon, dead, giant, and scrolls the Superman Batman symbol with their last breath, presumably. And they go to investigate that, and it's awesome.
I will second that. It was awesome. And honestly, the only reason I read this book is because Tom Taylor was writing it. He is such a great writer, especially with the DC characters. I mean, he's doing a lot of good stuff over at Marvel. He's writing All New Wolverine. Came to our attention on Injustice, Gods Among Us.
Superior Iron Man.
Superior Iron Man, too. Which was super cool. So, yeah, great story. And again, as Josh said, the dialogue, the interplay between the characters, it's what I want to see in a Superman Batman book. I don't want to read a book where they don't know each other. I don't want to read a book where they hate each other. I want to read something where you've got that kind of sibling rivalry. Superman and Batman I always view as brothers. They love each other. They'll do anything for each other. They don't always get along. They don't always agree. And that's really captured well, I think, in this first issue. And this, I think, is it a 3-part story?
I believe it's 3-part. Now, I don't know if Taylor's on after that, but the first arc is 3 parts.
Yeah, super cool. All right, finally for me is Snowblind #2 from Boom Studios, written by Ali Masters, artwork by Tyler Jenkins. Snowblind #1 was a book that we talked about when it came out. It's a 4-issue miniseries about a family that may or may not be in the Witness Protection Program in Alaska, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
The teenage son is a typical teenager full of angst and doesn't get along with his parents, and he discovers a mystery about his family and starts to dig into it, and what he finds is going to rock his world. It's just written really well. It reads very easily. It's a kind of a crime thriller if you're into that sort of thing. And I think it's done really well. By the end of this issue, we see that the young man has possibly gone past the point of no return in his quest to find the truth. Fair assessment?
Yeah, no, I really liked it. I don't know. There's something appealing to me about this kid that like loves detective novels, sort of trying to apply that in real life and not necessarily always succeeding. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, and you
relatable.
see that in this issue as he tries to find answers and kind of clumsily, but he also knows how to bug his parents' phone thanks to PI novels.
Yeah, I don't know what year this is, but that was an old phone. Is this the 80s or?
Possibly.
Last up for me this week is Superman American Alien #3 with with words by Max Landis and art by Joel Jones. Joel Jones. And this is the third issue of American Alien. It's sort of Max Landis's love letter to Superman. 7 issues, each one with a different artist, each one with kind of a different point in Clark's life, and they've all been really good. This time we see Clark has won a vacation trip. And is off on his own, and through a sequence of events winds up kind of climbing onto Bruce Wayne's boat at his birthday party. And of course Bruce Wayne is not there because at this point he's off gallivanting about learning to be Batman somewhere. But all of these rich, important people feel that they should have a party for Bruce Wayne anyway, and maybe he'll show up. And since no one's seen Bruce in years, they just assume this dark-haired, good-looking guy who appears on the boat is in fact Bruce Wayne. And it's great. It's a different, with the exception of the first issue of the series, which was kind of an early look into his life when he's just developing his powers, which is something we've kind of seen before. Each of these is important points in the development of who Clark becomes that we've never really seen before. You know, we see bits and pieces, and we see, you know, obviously all the stuff from the 50s as Superboy is kind of dated and not super relevant. But you see who he's becoming a little more each issue. Some of the standard parts of Superman are developing, and it's just really cool to watch that. And it's fun, and the art is pretty, and yeah. Oh, appearances by some DC characters you would recognize, definitely.
Yeah, several DC characters show up. And this was runner-up for my pick of the week. I really debated between Huck 3 and American Alien 3. If you're a Superman fan, I would say this is essential reading, just because it's a take on the character that we haven't seen before. And each issue is also a standalone story. You don't have to have read the previous issues to pick up the new one, at least not so far. So issue number 2 was a pick of the week for me. So issue number 3 was right up there as well. Just fun. Again, great read. Max Landis has a gift for the dialogue. I would say similar to a Kevin Smith. You know, if you liked Kevin Smith's work on Green Arrow or Daredevil, if you like that sort of banter, you'll like this too. There's much more to it than that, and Joel Jones's artwork is outstanding. I think that they're doing a great job pairing up really quality artists with Landis for each. It's different artist every issue.
And the artist matches the tone of the story.
Oh yeah, because it was. What's his face?
Jock?
No, Tommy. I don't
know which
Tommy,
book you're talking about.
I want to say
Tommy Lee Edwards.
Tommy Elliott is what I was going to say, but I don't think Hush was in it. Tommy Lee Edwards did the art in the previous issue, and it was a very dark issue, and the artwork reflected that. So, not enough good things to say about American Alien from both of us. So there you have it, 6 awesome comics that you should definitely pick up this week at your local comic shop. But we'll move on to the sadder side of things, talking about an actor who's passed away. And what a week. We lose David Bowie and Alan Rickman in the same week, and they were both 69, and they both died of cancer. Weird. So these things tend to come in threes. We'll see what happens next. But we felt it fitting to talk about Alan Rickman's work in today's episode. So we're going to go through, these are off the cuff, off the top of our head, top 5 Alan Rickman films. And I will start with the 800-pound gorilla, at least in my mind, which is Die Hard. Alan Rickman was a great villain as Klaus somebody or other.
Hans
Gruber.
Not even close.
I just wanted to say Klaus because I like that comic. Hans Gruber, that's right. Well, did Jeremy Irons play his brother Klaus?
In 2?
In 3.
3. I don't remember his name.
Anyway, Alan Rickman was all kinds of awesome in Die Hard. Great villain, not a typical villain. You know, he wasn't. In the 80s, we had a lot of kind of hulking villains, big, scary bad guys, and he was kind of an unassuming businessman sort of character who was very intellectual, kind of a James Bond villain, I would say.
Absolutely.
Fit very well in the way he played off of the different actors and characters in the film, Bruce Willis and I'm drawing a blank. God, my brain is not working. The woman who played his wife, you're never gonna get it.
I'm not gonna get it, no.
I know her name. She's in Presumed Innocent, but I can't remember.
Oh, Harrison Ford. Yeah.
Those scenes were great, and I still the best line in there. I don't know. One of the best lines is when he was telling them to shoot the glass. It's like, shoot the glass. And it falls down, and then Bruce Willis has to crawl over all the broken glass with his bare feet, and then he has to go to the bathroom and pick out the glass. Anyway, Die Hard. I think it deserves a viewing this weekend in honor of Mr. Rickman.
Yeah, that movie is amazing, but it would not have been the same movie without him, which is the mark of a great performance. Is that you couldn't make Die Hard without Alan Rickman.
Just as important it was for Bruce Willis to be John McClane, that movie would not have been what it was without Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber or Klaus Gruber.
Whatever Gruber is.
That's his middle name. Hans
Klaus Gruber. Well, it wasn't his real name anyway, was it? He was.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Was it? Well, he's British, and the name's German, and he's pretending to be a terrorist, so I didn't know if it was his real name or not.
I think he was German. I mean...
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a British guy playing a German.
He wasn't very German. Next up, let's stick in the same villainous vein, which is going to be a recurring theme probably. Go with Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. A lot of people, especially my age, our age, have sort of a love-hate relationship with this movie. It's not a great movie, but there's no doubt that the finest performance in it is Alan Rickman as the Prince John.
No,
Sheriff of Nottingham.
Sheriff of Nottingham. Wow.
Neither of us know anything
We are
this
having
morning.
problems today.
No, I mean, I don't know that I've ever quoted any line from that movie except use a
Slater?
spoon. No.
When he says, drops an F-bomb? Because that was appropriate.
Yeah. No, use a spoon, you twit, because it's dull, it'll hurt more. And he's just an amazing villain in a movie surrounded by kind of caricatures. I mean, we get some decent stuff out of Morgan Freeman, but...
yeah, it wasn't bad.
But yes, Alan Rickman is amazing in that movie. The rest of the movie is worth watching just to see him chew up the scenery as a great villain.
Once if you can make it. And I say this as someone who saw it repeatedly in the theater as a teenager for some God knows reason. I thought it was awesome.
That's the first one I ever went to without my parents. One of my cousins took me.
All right. I will go with Love Actually. I'm sorry, I'm taking that one from you. But
no, you can
do either of the next two.
Well, this is the one that's on our list that might not make the average.
Yeah, a lot of people. I don't think. I think as Love Actually lives on in media formats and possibly gets shown during the holidays, if it can be on different networks, more people come to appreciate it. It's an amazing movie all around, and it's a great movie to watch around the holidays. Alan Rickman's character is kind of a jerk, though, and he is the jerk of the film. He plays what does he do?
I don't know. They work in an office.
Agency,
they work in an office, but we never find out what they actually do.
He's the leader in an office. He's Steve Carell, and he may or may not be having an affair and cheating on his wife, who, they have 2 kids together. She's a devoted wife.
She's Emma Thompson.
And they've been in multiple movies together, so I know we're missing something. But it's just kind of painful to watch their relationship kind of crumble, and it's each story in Love Actually focuses on a different type of love, and theirs is kind of a love that maybe has run its course. But excellent movie if you haven't watched it. Great performance a very subdued performance by Alan Rickman versus the Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and Die Hard. So just another aspect of his acting chops.
Yeah, and I mean, you call him the jerk of the movie, but at no point, I mean, you still feel bad for him. He's doing things that are
he's not like a typical jerk. He's not. Yeah, you have to watch it to get it. But it's definitely one that I would put in my top 5.
And the thing about Love Actually, talking about it growing with time, is Love Actually had an amazing cast when it opened. Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, every British actor, Colin Firth,
Hugh Grant.
But then, as time goes on, people who were in the movie get more famous. Rick from The Walking Dead is the main part. Chiwetel Ejiofor.
That guy.
Keira Knightley. Morgan Freeman. Bilbo. Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman is in it.
I mean, like, a lot of people who were just getting big were in it then, and it's awesome.
And they all have decent parts in it. They're not, these aren't cameos or just kind of bit parts. These guys have a lot to do in the film. So that's another reason to check it out.
Go watch Love Actually.
Go watch all these actors before they were famous.
Oh, that was you. Sorry.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry. You're up.
I'm going to go with Galaxy Quest. It's just the right amount of ridiculous. It's huge for sci-fi fanboys like us. The sort of parody of essentially the Star Trek cast as they get older. And I think Rickman did a great job of just being sick of all of this crap. Like he was Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon for the whole movie. He was too old for this. He was over this, but he still managed to. He was very real and human in a movie that is occasionally cartoony and ridiculous. By Grabthar's hammer, he will be avenged.
And finally, we'll put 7 movies into one and just say as Severus Snape in the Harry Potter films, which is probably what he will be most well known for. Well, when you make 7
it's surely
films,
my number.
I mean. When you make 7 films and you know the sheer box office that those movies made, the number of people that saw those films, that's probably what he's most known for. Just played a great character. I haven't read all the Harry Potter books. I've read a couple of them. I don't know if Alan Rickman was what J.K. Rowling had in mind when she wrote the Harry Potter films, but he really did a great job of being this character that we weren't quite sure about. You know, was he good? Was he evil? You know, what was going on inside of his mind? And you know, at the end of the day, he turned out to be a hero, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, depending on your definition. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Harry Potter films. Some of Alan Rickman's finest work. So there you have it, our 5-film tribute to Alan Rickman, who unfortunately passed away at the age of 69 today, as we're recording this. So,
well, not as we're recording.
Well, prior to us recording
just before.
this. Yeah. Well, I walk in the door and I'm greeted with the news. Josh tells me that Alan Rickman has passed away. It didn't like hurt me or anything, but it's kind of a bummer. These creative people are it's a bummer when anyone passes away.
Yeah.
But we have the movies of Alan Rickman will live on, especially those that we mentioned today. So that's it this week. We'll be back next week, I'm sure.
Were we wrong? Did we forget your favorite
Yeah,
Alan Rickman
did
movie?
we leave off an Alan
Was it
Rickman
Dogma?
movie?
Was it Pride and Prejudice?
There have got to be more.
He's got a huge catalog, but yeah.
He's been acting for a very long time. So yeah, if we missed one that you think we should check out, put it in the comments below. Let us know what you think of our picks this week. If you like the episode, please give us a thumbs up and share it with anybody that you think might appreciate it. The more people that we want people who like comics to watch these episodes, so that maybe they can get turned on to something that they're unfamiliar with, or just to spread the word that comics are awesome. I haven't said it recently, I don't think, but there's just a lot of negativity out there about everything, whether it's comics or movies or politics or religion or pop culture. Let's fill the internet with positivity. Let's talk about comics that are awesome, comics that are good, and help those sell better so that we get more of the same. There you have it. We'll see you next time.